Hi guys, my name's Elliot Harlin Bethel and this channel is about personal development, energy healing and fasting. And today is the first video back after my fast that I did last week. It was intended to be 7 days, it ended up 5 days because it got to the weekend and I got drawn into going out and having some soup. So I wanted to enjoy my weekend and decided to take a step back and get back on some liquid foods. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today was how when I fast, I've spoken about this before, I also fast from social media and a lot of the times from words and thoughts as well. So fasting isn't just fasting from food, it's also fasting from the things that you surround yourself, the energies you surround yourself, the sounds, the words and the thoughts that you think. Because the thoughts that we think and the words that we speak predominantly become our reality, because this is what we put into our aura, this is in our energy field, that vibration's then in your energy field, you send that out and that's what comes back to you. So self-talk is a very, very important thing. If you're constantly saying to yourself, you feel tired, you don't look good, you're overweight, this is what your reality is going to become, because this is what you put into your energy field and that's what you're going to draw back. And then when other people start to think this of you, because that's what you're pushing out, they then project that energy onto you, and it makes it very difficult to get out of that vibration. Because if you're thinking you're tired and you're overweight and then you're sending out that vibration, then people start saying it to you, not only are you putting that energy out, but that energy is subject to coming back to you. And I've said before, your boss has a different version in his head than your work colleagues have in their head, and this means there's a different projected energy, a different version of you in all these people's heads, and they are projecting these energies onto you, which is why people find that when they're with their boss they act one way, and then when they're with their work colleagues they act another way, because you vibrate that level of energy that you're being projected on. And until you learn how to protect your energy and to not let other people's projected versions of you affect you, it's very important to learn about your own energy, which is why when I'm fasting I like to spend periods of time on my own, so that I'm in my own energy and I can really discover and find out exactly who and what I am. And my advice would be, if you really, really want to discover who and what you are, is to fast from food for 5 to 7 days, fast from water, fast from thoughts, fast from talking, and then you'll really start to see the correlation of how what you're thinking and what you're saying is manifested into your life. Because if we're having 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, by the time you've had that first thought and that first thought manifests, you've probably had 15,000 thoughts. And that's if you've paired that thought with a powerful emotion. So to actually see the correlation between your speaking and your thoughts and it actually manifesting is quite slim. But then think about it, if you completely fast from thinking and speaking for 3 to 10 days, your vibration is completely stopped. So when you come back round to thinking and speaking again, and especially if you fasted from food as well, because then your energy is really pure and clean, when you have that first thought and you pair it with an emotion and you see it come into your reality, you can see the correlation, because there's no interference or no distractions, because everything out there is a distraction from you creating your own reality. Because if you're not seeing how you're doing it, then you're not consciously doing it. But the good thing is, all you have to do is sit down for, I'd say a minimum of 12 hours. If you can sit down and sit with yourself and clear your mind for that amount of time, I mean, everyone can do it on a weekend, or if you've got children, you'd have to find the time to get away. But when you spend a long period of time without thinking, without talking to anyone, it's like you're in the resting period. Like when they say in Abraham's teachings, when you sleep, you wake up with a new point of attraction. So it's almost like every day when you wake up, you're resurrected. You've got a choice to change your vibration and set the tone for that day and then draw it in. Personally, I find this more powerful if you do it the 20 minutes before you go to bed, because the teachings of Neville Goddard says the 20 minutes before you go to bed, your conscious mind goes to sleep and your subconscious puts this into action, and then you've already put it into action for your vibration to also almost like a springboard for the next day, if you like. And then get up and say some positive affirmations, raise your vibration with some uplifting music, some high frequency music, get out of bed. And I always do exercise first thing in the morning, because I like to raise my vibration, and this elevates your heart rate an elevated heart rate, and putting this into your energy field is very, very powerful. I find it's very, very powerful anyway. I'd love to hear your opinions if you do decide to try this. Once you've done this, you should find that signs and synchronicities and your flow is a lot more active, that your thoughts and your manifestations come around a lot quicker than what they usually would. So my fast this week has been very interesting in that I've tried something new, and I said I was going to tell you guys what it was. I said it was a dry fast. I said it was a hard dry fast, and there was no, apart from going to the gym and using the sauna for a little bit, I was trying something out. I was trying some new urine therapy out. Now, the reason I don't tell anyone when I'm trying something out is I like to adapt it, and I like to try it without anyone else's outside of me's energy affecting it. So the urine therapy that I was trying was you pee first thing in the morning and you take out the first part of the pee and the end part. Now, I'm going to post in my Instagram a page, it's 3 pages long, with the information of the guide that I was following. But the metaphor and the initial statement behind it is, if you take a snake, the head is poisonous and the tail's poisonous, but the middle part of it is really, really good for you. So I was trying that out, and if I'm honest, I'm going to continue with it because I felt very, very good with it. I felt really energized. I had more energy than what I normally did. And with all the other energy exchanges and the methods that I use, I'm finding it easier and easier to fast now. There is still a few more that I'm working on. There's 5 or 6 other energy exchanges and things that I'm still working on before I let anybody else's energy in on that. But the urine therapy, I'm going to post it in my Instagram. I'll put a link below as well for all the information of that, because there's a few other details about it as well. But this is the most sort of comprehensive, and this is the one that I found I resonated to the most. So as always, I'd say with my videos or anyone else's videos, watch it, because this channel was not designed for anyone else. It was designed for me to write down what's worked for me when I'm creating my reality, when I'm setting up my timelines to create what I want. This is what works best for me. But if I watch out somebody else's video and something they say really resonates with me, then I'm quite inclined to take that and embody it myself and put that into my timeline. Because if I resonate with it, I feel that vibration, I really like it, my intuition and my gut feeling says, yeah, this is something that I like, then you feel free to take that and embody it and put it into yours. So if anything I say resonates with you, feel free to take it, embody it, adapt it and play around with it, because I've made sure I've made it work before I put a video out. So if it works for me, that means there's a timeline there that you can try out. Just as in, if you've got any tips or you try out anything I'm doing and you find anything out about it, or you find anything new that works, then I'd love to hear from you. So this is something that I'm being shown quite a lot recently, that just because something hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. For years and years, nobody thought anyone would run a 4-minute mile. And then I think it was in 1954, Roger Bannister ran a 4-minute mile. And what happens is, when somebody does something like this, whether anybody else in the world hears about it, other human beings in the world start running 4-minute miles. And this is without even hearing about it, because once it's put into that collective energy field, the collective consciousness, we all become aware of it at a certain level, because there's a timeline created, and when that timeline's created, it opens up for everyone. So if people aren't trying new things and pushing boundaries, then we stop evolving, we just become stagnant. And most of the time when people stop evolving, they just start consuming. And this is where there's a great saying in the film Fight Club that says, we're buying shit we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people we don't even know. And that was very much a true saying to my life about 6 years ago. Just buying crap, trainers, cars, shit, watches, to impress people I didn't really even know, fake friends that I had on social media I'd never even met before. And it got, although it seemed like a very, very happy and fun life, it was a very lonely place. Whereas now all of that's completely changed. If I buy something, that I now own that product doesn't own me. It's just an energy exchange as far as I'm concerned. Whereas when I lost all those things, because I felt so empowered by them, I felt like I lost everything. And it really showed me that I really just needed to empower myself and go on a self-discovery journey and find out exactly what I was and who I was, and basically strip myself back down to realizing that I'm just an instrument that's energy vibrating at a certain frequency, and that if I match myself to the vibration of anything I want, then I've already got everything I want. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only person that can make me happy. And if I'm saying someone else has got to make me happy, like a partner or a friend, then that's actually giving my power away to them. Because at the end of the day, they should make themselves happy and I should make myself happy. And what I found is, now that I am happy, I'm surrounded by happy people. Now that I tell the truth and I'm trustworthy, people don't lie to me. Now that I'm more prosperous, more joyful and more healthy, I'm surrounded by healthy, prosperous, joyful people. So it really is a reflection. Whatever you're vibrating at, your outer world is a reflection of that. And you only need to do a few tests to find this out. I mean, if you're listening to a lot of rap music or a lot of heavy metal music, which has got a lot of very, very heavy, low vibration, negative words in it, what I was finding, and when I look back over my timelines, my worst period doing drugs, and I used to love doing drugs. I'm not even saying that drugs are bad, because if you use them in the right form and you use them for what they can be used for, then they can be a positive thing, because everything has its positive and negatives, just like we do. We have a masculine and feminine, we have a positive and a negative. And when you learn this and you learn the duality or polarity always meets in the middle, you can then decide how you want to look at that certain thing. But be careful how you want to look at things, because that's you giving your energy away to things as well. So nothing is positive, nothing's negative. We're all equal amounts of both, and it's about balance. I spent about 3 to 4 years basically finding out how to balance my left and right brain hemispheres, how to balance my masculine and feminine, how to balance my negative and positive. And there's lots of meditations you can do for these, lots of affirmations you can say. But for today, I just wanted to give you guys an update of the fast I was doing last week. And somebody asked me about my training while I'm fasting as well. So when I am fasting and not eating any food at all, I want to maintain as much muscle as possible without exerting as little energy as possible. So my time in the gym when I'm eating no food and very little liquids or no liquids is spent lifting mid to heavy weights for sort of 3 to 6 reps, with a pause in keeping the blood contracted in the muscle for as long as possible. Whereas if I am consuming liquids, or because I'm not consuming any solid foods this year, if I'm consuming liquids and waters and teas and coffees and various things, then I might increase it a little bit. And back when I was eating food, I'd be doing much higher reps. But also another thing that I introduced into my training about 2 years ago is something called kinesthetic imagery training. And I'll post the link again in this below one. I've posted it in many of my videos. But basically, by visualizing yourself contracting the muscle by lifting and doing a bicep curl, or by doing a shoulder press, just visualizing this with your energy body. So if you was to do this for 5 minutes non-stop, really fast, when you stop, your arm would still feel like it's doing it. And that's basically the feeling you want. You want the feeling that you're doing the contraction without doing it yourself. And the studies I've posted below will show that people have increased muscle strength and size up to 10.8% by doing this without even lifting a weight. Now, I really resonated with this study when I read it. And whether you look at it and you read it and you believe it or not, that's good for you. That's your belief system. It's not mine, but this is my belief system. When I was growing up, I've been training since I was 19 years old. And if I had a week off the gym, I'd go from bench pressing, say, the 50 kilo dumbbells for 10 reps. I'd go back and I wouldn't even be able to lift them for 3, because I'd be so worried that I hadn't eaten properly. I'd be so worried that I hadn't trained in the gym that when I went back, I'd struggle to even get them off the rack. Now, this was very, very psychological, and I've now realized that I can take 2 to 3 weeks off. And if I eat healthy and still do my stretching and stuff, I can go back and still lift exactly what I was lifting before. And this shows me that the years I spent trying to master my body were very good, and I learned from it, and I really enjoyed it. It was great exercise, and it was more of a social thing than anything. But if I'd have spent more time mastering my mind than I would have my body would have been shaped by my mind, because at the end of the day, my belief now is my body is a thought form, and that the thoughts that I think predominantly, my body adapts to. I had an image in my mind 6 months ago of what my body would look like right now, and it is 100% what I thought it would look like right now, and it just continues to grow in the way that I'm seeing it grow. And this is more thought, and I'm spending less time in the gym. I'm eating nowhere, I'm not eating any solid food at all. And I'm now believing that eventually, as I've said, by the end of this year, by the intention that I'll be able to put into water, I will be able to just do it on water. And then my goal is to show how I can actually gain weight by putting the intention into water and drinking the water. Because what I'm seeing and what I'm actually believing now is the labels that food companies put on food have ingrained and put such a program into society's minds. The only reason your weight changes is because of the food labels and because of the energy projected on you by other people when you eat those foods. If you believe a tin of something has got 30 grams of sugar, 70 grams of carbohydrate and 0 grams of protein in it, when you eat it, your brain's now programmed to believe that you won't be able to put on muscle and that you'll get fat. And I believe this because I know several people who are overweight who hardly eat at all. And I know several people who are massively underweight and eat pizzas and burgers and chips constantly throughout the day. And this is because these people have never known any different, because their belief systems are strong enough to be able to do this. So if you work on your belief systems and belief systems become your reality, your belief systems can be changed in your mind like furniture. If this is your temple, imagine your bricks are belief systems. You've built up belief systems over the years and years. Like, you need to eat 3 meals a day, you need to eat 6 meals a day, you need this many grams of protein, you need this many grams of carbohydrate. These belief systems have been instilled by you, by other people. It's not something you've consciously learned and developed yourself. It's something that food companies and industry has instilled in you. It's something that parents that were instilled by these companies. If you gradually start chipping away at these belief systems, which I've been doing for the last 3 years, and I've been doing it with the help and watching and learning from other people who've been doing this. And I'm grateful for everybody who's helped me on this journey. And there's been various people that have helped me on it that haven't even realised they've helped me. But I'm surrounded by people that are doing what I'm doing now and creating timelines. Because once you experience something for yourself, and when I've done this, I've shut myself off from anybody else's energy. The first fast I ever did, I did 7 days, no food, no water, and no contact with water. And I didn't tell anyone that I was doing it, because I didn't want family, I didn't want friends saying to me, this is really bad for you, you should do more research on it. I'd done my research, I knew what I believed, and I went and did it. And I felt fucking amazing afterwards. In fact, when I ate my first meal, I felt so slow and sluggish and disconnected that it was just such a shock to me. And this really changed my belief system from even just 4 years ago, eating lots of meat and then going vegan, to then thinking I might be better off without food. And this is only confirmed and in several religious teachings, even back to the Emerald Tablets, where Thoth or Tahoti or taught in ancient Egyptian times, there's a reference to food actually keeping your soul away from your body. So you're not fully connected when you've got food in your system. Now, my perception of this, when I read it and when I heard it, was that because your body is energy vibrating at a certain frequency, whatever frequency not only you put into your body's then got to access and process and get through that vibration. So if you've been eating meat constantly, which is a very low vibration, and the way I was even shown this myself was, I have a fridge which is full of fruits and vegetables. And at this particular time, all the fruits and vegetables went off on, say, the 9th of February. And somebody placed a piece of meat in with these fruits and vegetables. They all had the same date on them. And the fruit that was nearest to the meat went off. Now, I'm I have to test these things out more than once. So I did this a further 5 times. And every time you put meat or a dead substance which vibrates very low near a higher vibrational substance like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, the fruit nearest the low vibration will go off. And this is very similar to Masaru Emoto's video on YouTube of the rice test, or if you read The Hidden Messages in Water, that vibrations affect your surroundings, which again is just basic law of attraction. Whatever you're putting into your energy field, whatever vibration is in your aura. Some people's auras have been shown to be up to like 9 meters if you're really buzzing your tits off. Then you can be putting that out into 9 meters around you, which means within that energy field, if you're vibrating really high, if someone who's coming along is having a bad day, it's going to be one of those situations that person will hit a wall, like they hit your aura and go, ooh, I don't want to go near that person. Just as in, if you walk towards a negative person, you'll walk into a room, and I've done it many a times where you walk into a room and you think, something doesn't feel right in now, I'm not going in now. That's because your vibration is a mismatch to what's going on in that room. And by doing these fasts, fasting from food, fasting from TV, fasting from speaking, fasting from thinking, or fasting from food, you really start to notice your energy, which again, as I said to you, everything's a distraction. Until you do this, you don't realize how powerful your energy is. So I can't push on you how important that was for myself. If you're feeling a resonation towards this, any help I can give you with it, please feel free to comment in the comments below. This was just going to be a short video back to say hi, and I've been fasting from social media while I was doing the food fasting. I hope you're all doing really well. It's great to catch up with you guys again, and I'll be posting regularly daily from now. So thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.